Hey, I'm here. Uh, I just woke up. This is like, if you're watching this by the time I posted it or close to it, this is literally like the morning of day 3 of week 1. But I wanted to record like just a quick video giving some tips and tricks to help people prog this fight, like while you're waiting for more like well worked out resources and shit, right? So this is not a strat guide. If you want strats, wait for Hector or whatever other creator you prefer. I'm just gonna go over and talk about things that might help you prog this fight faster, especially if you're watching this on week 1 or maybe week 2, depending on your group. So other things I'm gonna say here, do not focus on the strats, just focus on the logic behind the mechanic or the camera tricks or whatever. And because I play as a healer, I'll probably give more advices towards healers, but maybe it helps some tanks and DPS as well. This fight's really cool. By the time I finished it, I was literally acting like this. So yeah, the first half of this fight is really no big deal. If you at least watch a POV or a raid plan, like you can probably just one-shot it and you're gonna go to like 60% of the boss HP or whatever. So it starts with Tank Buster. It doesn't really hurt that much. And there's a lot of ways you can do this first mechanic here. The way my group liked to do was like move to the right and then to the left and then to the right again and then to the left, like this. Very little movement, but do whatever you want. It doesn't have to go all the way to the wall. You just have to stretch your tether enough like this, and then you just do whatever. For topping people, here's a healer. I just use like a lady here in opposition while the other healer uses a AoE shield. If you're a white mage, you can just use a Lily, I believe. Should be enough. Everybody stacks here behind. So here, it's a little bit finicky, but I like to walk forward and then turn my camera like this so I can just walk back. And here, just like every fire bait in this game, if shit happens and you have very little space in your static, like you can wait a little bit before moving so you can like put 2 fires together. It takes a while for it to become active. So you can literally just like stack 2 of them like really close and then you put the third one really further out. This raid ward also doesn't really hurt much as long as you have like a Sawyer or something, like you should be fine. Reprise as well. And now here we are with Deep Blue, bro. 6-well. Like I said, like this beginning is really simple. You literally just watch the bubbles here. It has a lot of them, so it's a spread. You look at the wave. Depends on how you're gonna sort things out. The way my group does is group 1 left, group 2 right. And then we just go to our assigned spots for spreads. We can literally do this for every single spread in the fight. We just do them like vertically. It works just fine, but you do you. Reverse alley-oop. It doesn't hurt as much. You don't have to worry too much. Just like a reprisal is enough for people to be like pretty healthy. And then the tank's gonna bait this, GG. I like using collective here a little bit before this tank buster. It helps like mitigating the damage a little bit and also covers this raid wide. You can use the same thing with white mage if you want. You're gonna use your plenary. Don't redot here if you're a healer. They're gonna leave the arena, it's not worth it. Hold on. This is too quiet, right? Let's listen to this. All right, there we go. Now we're in the mood because now the fight started. There we go. So here I like to dot both bosses. They always go to the same positions, so you can literally just pre-position if you're a ranged character. Very important thing as well that is worth mentioning. Here, usually like right now it doesn't really have like a debuff, but later on like you always want to position the groups like into certain bosses. It's gonna be random, the debuffs you're gonna get later, but it's worth keeping stuff consistent. It takes a while for him to get there, so you can literally just hardcast your way through here. For healers, this part here is not dangerous at all. The damage is pretty simple. Like you can go like 2 or 3 sets without healing and people are still gonna survive. So you don't have to panic. Take it easy. I like using on a position after the second set there, so it hits both groups, but it's up to you. Now, divers there actually does hurt. So use mids on this one. This one is a little bit annoying. It gets worse later on, but do keep in mind that divers there do hurt a lot. So here you want to position to your correct boss. I don't know how PF does it. This is how we did it. Group 1 left, group 2 right. Now this is probably the big first wall in this fight for progress. And my suggestion is the damage itself here is not a problem, with the exception of the last part of this mechanic, okay? So if you are a healer, throw a shield here at the beginning. We have spread low from the scholar. I just use a neutral sect as well. So I shield people here and I use Sunshine for the sake of it. But it's just to give us a little bit more of leeway. You don't need it, okay? From my POV here, I'm on the water thingy. But I will get a fire one later, possibly. I'm gonna add like with editing. Once again, don't worry about the strats. All you have to worry about is you cannot cleave the people with the fire. It doesn't matter where you go, just don't cleave them and then you get out. After you do your mechanic here, this is true for both groups, okay? If you just did a mechanic, you can breathe for a while. It is not a fast phase, it's just overwhelming. So it's gonna have a tank buster here. We make the Dark Knight use Invuln. We go here. The range for this thing is actually on this line here. So if you wanna min-max your movements or just give your friends like more room, you can have one person on this corner, one on this corner, and this corner if it's a spread, another one here. So it's pretty safe for the water people, right? And as you can see, this cleave here happens before the spread and the stack. So you have a little bit of time, okay, to adjust it for water. You see, there's a long time after the thing. You don't have to panic. In this case, it was a stack. We just did a mechanic. We can chill. You can use your regions. You can use your shields. Heads up for the healers. If you're more comfortable with the fight already, you can spot heal the people that are gonna get the jumps here from the fire. As you can see, I'm like spot healing people. I suggest everyone uses anti-knockback here. There's no reason for you to not use anti-knockback here. You can use it in every single knockback from these waves in the entire fight. If you're not using, you're just making your life harder. Some friends from my community said that people in PF struggle with this part because they tend to spread incorrectly and kill people, like they just get lost. So to make your life easier, rule number 1. Dodge this guy at all costs. It does not matter where you're gonna dodge him. You have time to adjust. Just make sure you're dodging away from that guy, okay? If you're from fire, it is better for you to dodge towards the blue people than go over here because of the steam that is gonna explode later, alright? You have time. You see, it's gonna happen, and then you have the spreader stack. So my suggestion here for healers, because in my opinion this is like a slightly healing intensive part and you could wipe here for healing. As soon as this happens, as soon as the wave happens, if you are an Astro, I would suggest you use Collective, and if you are a White Mage, I would suggest you use Plenary to help heal people and apply the mitigation, because the mitigation is gonna help for the spread and stack on the water people. And as you can see, he's already casting Cutback Blaze, which is the fire thing that makes like a little safe spot with a pizza. So this is really fast and you need to have people survive this. So if you are a regen healer, help your shield healer, use your 10% mit, heal. I also like saving the lady here if you're an Astro. If you are a White Mage, you're probably gonna use one of your lilies. You just have to be full HP. And if you're full HP and you have 1 mit, you can survive. Oh, sorry, 2 mids, like the regen healer and the shield healer, you're gonna survive like this. You see, even with high rolls, you would still be pretty safe. So if you have max HP with or without shields, does not matter. And those 2 mids, you're always gonna survive this, and it's gonna be a lot more safer for your group. Another important thing as well, remember to cleave the bosses. The debuff that you get here, it's not really to lock you into a boss for DPS. It just makes that boss is gonna target you with his skills. So that means that if you're a water group, you don't have to run to the fire people to bait the fire thing. It does not matter. It's not gonna target you. The way that we do this on our group is because we always have the water people on the right side of the arena and the fire people like here in the middle at this point. They stay always like opposite of us, so they aim their safe spot on us or as close as they can, because you know shit can happen. So if you're water, you do not have to go to the other side. You can literally just wait here. It makes no difference. And remember to cleave. You are not locked into your boss. This is not top. This is not Omega male female. You can cleave both. Divers that hurts. Alright. Let's see the fire pattern here. I found the pool. So, like I said, damage-wise, it's the same thing as the water one. It doesn't matter which strat you're doing. Just make sure you go to the correct spot. As a reminder, after you do a mechanic, you will have a time to breathe, to chill. It's a tank buster now. The next one is gonna be the spread, so we have to pay attention to where he's gonna jump, and then we're gonna spread. I don't know how PF is doing or how your static is gonna do it. The way we did it is we sorted positions for people. Each group has its positions. It doesn't matter, right? It's independent between them. The way my light party was gonna do is we have the caster here. I would be here on the wall, and the tank and the ninja here would fuck off. So after the thing, only then after that, the fire and the water is gonna resolve. I would move to the side, and even when it's a stack, if these two clip, it does not matter. We're gonna have like a steam going on here, but we're gonna leave this place, so it does not matter if it creates a bubble. And now here, just follow whatever strat works, but do keep in mind that regardless of which strat you're following, as soon as you're positioned here, when you're done positioning yourself and you're just waiting for your spread to go off, start thinking, what number in the baits am I? Or if you're gonna do the strat that I know that exists, you just go to a marker and you just stand there, look to your marker already. Just turn your camera to the marker and say to yourself, as soon as I'm done with this shit, I'm gonna move to that marker. I'm not the first one, so I just go inside, I go closer here to the boss, and I'm gonna swap with the caster back here. The way my group does is we would always just stand whatever place we place the bubbles, and me and the caster would keep swapping. So I'm looking at him now, that's why I turned my camera. I choose the spot. And then I go in, anti-knockback, and look at the guy. As you can see, it's cleave in the middle. Like I mentioned, probably, I hope I mentioned that, in the fire one, dodge towards the water people if you have to. It's not a problem. It takes a little bit of time to the spread and stack to resolve, but do keep in mind, as soon as this happens, if you had to leave the middle, go back near the fire, but don't go to the fire because of the sim. Just prepare to bait the whatever the name of the thing is, the cutback blaze, yeah, that. So as soon as it ends, we move to position. The way we like to do this is we always stand opposite of the blue people here. So the safe spot will always be on their position, because if we just did this like randomly and the safe spot aimed to the left side here, we would be fucked. So water people, you don't have to worry about this. This will never target on you. It just targets on the fire people. So that's why only us four are here. And we try to aim it to them to make their life easier. And that's it. Like the ending here is the same thing as the water one. Now let's go back to the old me. As you can see, if you use collective on the time I mentioned, you can do both things. So the way we did this here, once again, it depends on the strats. It does not matter. I'm mostly gonna be talking about healing here, all right? But if you're in a static and you need more tips and tricks or whatever, the way we particularly do this, I don't know if how PF is doing, we just cross the blue guy always. So if the blue guy is here, we're gonna bring him here. And then the next person is gonna bring him here and then here. And we keep doing that all the time. And the fire will literally just cross the boss. We go here and then here and then here. This way, right here from the start, the safe spot is always gonna be opposite of the blue guy. So you can literally stand here all the time for the rest of the party, and it makes your life a lot easier. As for healing here, this initial thing, this animation here, it is not dangerous. What is dangerous is the explosion afterwards. So you're always gonna have this damage here. For the first one, as you can see, we only had like Seraph and Soil, and I was just using regents. But by the time of the second set, I will probably, if you're an Astro and you do things similar to like I did, you're gonna have neutral here. By the time you have neutral, this mechanic is safe. You can do whatever you want. If you're a white mage, that would equal to your wings. By the time you have wings, that mechanic is not dangerous at all because you're gonna have extra healing potency, you're gonna have a lot of mit, you're gonna have a lot of shit, so it is not dangerous. I personally like also using macro here just in case shit happens, because you never know when someone could clip someone and people die, and what if the healer dies, you know? So then like healing is gonna be like tighter. Like, this is just safety. You don't have to use macro if you're an Astro here, but yeah, I like doing it. I like using all of my mits here, especially because this takes a long time, as you're gonna see. Try to always like stagger your healings and your mits. Like for example, for this next one, I have Lady and I have Star. I still have my horoscope. I popped my Star. I still have my Lady. I still have my horoscope. I still have my position. I still have my collective. So if you're a white mage, that would equal to your lilies. It would equal to your plenary. And I mean, you can always just spam Medica, right? So yeah. By the time your region healer has his extra mit here, this phase is not a problem. Now here, if you have been researching stuff, you are probably aware of the tank LB3. It is pretty good. I always suggest you do that if you're progging this at first. So I think this is the same as PF that we've been doing. So place them on the corner. And remember to keep DPS in the boss, don't forget. By the time this happens here, let me show you. Oh, fuck. So this is reverse, which means that you stand still. But if you are a melee, okay, I'm gonna put on the screen here pictures for the correct spot here. But basically, you see this line here, the inner line in the ring of the boss. If you're doing this strat here, which I think it's Toxic Friends, I'm not sure. But if you are a melee and you just align with this, you're gonna be fine in both sides. It means you're gonna bait your cleaves, like it's gonna be really close, and you're gonna have a little bit of an intersection here in the middle. So if it's reverse alley-oop, you're gonna move into that middle spot that is the overlap from here, okay? If you are arranged, you'll literally just stand still. It's pretty stupid. As you can see there. He got a damage down here, but this one didn't because he moved into the spot there. Now, if it's not reverse alley-oop, you actually have to dodge towards the open parts. So you would move here, you would go to your spot, and if you are on the sides here, if you pay attention, there's this little gap here with no Protean happening. If it's not reverse alley-oop, you have to move here. It's the same thing on the other side. You would move here. Same thing for the melee. You would move here, move here. It's up to you. Yeah. On the other side, it's a little bit easier. Like, if you're on the side of the blue guy, I mean, just, you know, like, just Prad, and you're basically just doing the same mechanic from the start. So I'm not gonna bother talking about this side, okay? Like, you can pretty much just eyeball it from this POV. The way we do this is we place these on the sides. But our other group there is placing them like on the back part here because they're not gonna use it regardless. So you can like be closer to the boss if you want. Always use anti-knockback and always check where the guy is because he can cleave the middle, alright? Be careful with the seam here. And this here, once again, this is pretty fast. As soon as this hits the light party stacks, you're gonna notice that it's gonna cast divers there. So healers, beware. Beware, this hurts. Now here it's mostly just like a nerve check. It's the extreme water snaking, bro. So now here it's the same mechanic, but because we have to swap groups, remember, if you're doing healers first, I think that's what PF does. But regardless of what strat you're following, the first people on the prio, they already swap from the get-go. All right. You already swap. So if you have blue, you go to the blue guy. If you have red, you go to the red guy. But in this case, I'm a healer and I'm the first to swap in the order. So I am blue, I go to the red one instantly. All right. And also important, because the tanks are not usually on the prio list, they swap whenever it's a tank buster. So you have to pay attention to the patterns. It's not a tank buster, so it's the first one in the line, and this counts as the healers. Now it counts as the second one in line, whatever prio you're following. They're gonna swap groups. The next one is a tank buster, so we don't follow the prio. This is the tank swap, not the prio swap. And now for the last one, now it's the last prio swap. The tanks, they always go ahead in the priority whenever it's a tank buster. Now here, I personally like using collective here because like I said, this is really scary. But if you have a soil or a caracol, if you're playing with a sage, you can hold your collective or your plenary for the next cast if you are too afraid, alright? You're gonna see we're gonna drop really low. We did that intentionally, but yeah. You can meet this if you prefer as a regen healer. And by now it's just a victory lap, like quite literally, you just stack. This stack itself doesn't really deal that much damage. It's literally just like a nerve check. And by this time here, if the bosses are like 5%, 6%, you're most likely inside of the DPS check. I should have stopped using gravity here by the time this guy was dead. I did not notice. But yeah. There we go. So as you see, like the first half is really not that bad, but the later part is a little bit more annoying. I hope that helped somehow, like gave like some insight about positionings and stuff. The healing, like I said, there are spots where it's annoying, but most of the time you have a long time to place your regions, to throw some GCDs if you're afraid. You just cannot panic, alright? So that was it, gamers. Have a good one. I'm gonna record now for M10S, and whenever I'm done with the last boss, I'm also gonna post something about it. Like I said, I didn't want to explain strats. I think this is more useful for people that are already studying strats and doing week 1. But let me know what you think. Have a good one. Bye bye.